I was in Italy last week with a client, private client, and this guy, he works for a big multinational, goes from job to job, and he's happy in his job for like 6 months, and then he is again back to, I don't know, and he's back in that space. So this time, I know I've coached him online like this, and then he said, you know what, I just really want to make a switch, and not based on working for another big brand name, right? Because he thinks that builds his resume, and he's been doing that for 30 years now. I said, well, I'm going to come over. We're going to spend a couple days together, and we'll see what happens. So he sent me his resume up front. And his resume, if you see it, it's all the achievements, right? I went to school here. I'm part of this club. These are the projects that I led. These were the results. It's just your typical resume, the LinkedIn kind of stuff. Nothing in there about who he is. If I read it, it could be anybody, right? Put another picture on it and it's another person. You have no feel for who he is. So I said, that's what we're going to change. And he had no idea what we're going to do, right? He just paid my money and made me come over. It's fun. When you have clients at that level, when you said, just send me the money and I'll come over, we have no clue, that's the best part. So I go over there, we're in Verona, and we're just walking through the city center, we're having good cappuccinos, pasta, spaghetti, blah, blah, blah. And I just keep asking him the question, like, look, we did that, you guys know the document? Steve Hardison, the document stuff, right? We did a version of that where he just really looked at where does he get in his own way. That was day one, and then he makes, new who he needs to be, who he wants to be. Then he goes home, and I spend the night by myself. The next day he comes back and he's got a whole list of how he wants to show up. Like Carl, what you said, right? How do I need to show up? And I said, okay, great. Now we're going to create what you're up to. Like nothing to do with who you are, but what you're up to. So we do the 4 questions. Those of you who have done Trusted Advisor, they know the 4 questions. I create a game. So he creates a game, and then he's got the paper of who he needs to be. And then I said, this person who you saying who you need to be, is that the person who's going to win this game? And he says, no. He says, why not? He said, this person thinks way too small. I said, well, if this were like a movie part, right? Like you were writing a role in a movie, I don't know, the main character. How would you write this person? Who does this person need to be to win that game if this is the movie? And he says, oh, he needs to do much more outreach. He shouldn't be bothered with rejection, blah, blah, blah. And he makes up all this stuff, right? And then I said, well, can you be that? And he goes, of course. I'm like, well, that person wins this game, no? And he says, yeah, of course. I said, adjust your resume. Put that in your resume. So your first part, right, the profile where you speak about you, make your resume that. Make it nice sounding, go to ChatGPT, throw that all in, make a nice story out of it. He puts that in. He applies for 3 jobs, and today he tells me he's got a new one, an executive function in a new company, where he was rejected many, many times before. And he says, it's miraculous. I said, no, it's people can actually feel you now, right? It's not, look at me, I'm all these accomplishments. Now it's, I'm this person. Oh, and by the way, I've done some stuff in the past. But people want to feel who you are. They want to see who you are. They don't, they get 20 resumes with people who have been a VP and this and that and blah, 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 blah. They want to feel you. So he sends it out. He's got the new job. Most people don't think about that, right? Go to LinkedIn. Everybody is an accomplished people leader. What's the standard bullshit bingo that they have there? Accomplished leader, good people skills. They all are excellent listeners. And I know a lot of them, and they're not excellent listeners. They're really bad listeners, but it's in their profile, which actually is even worse because when people meet you, they see that you're lying on your profile, right? So it's so incredibly inauthentic what they put there. And they don't see that they're doing themselves a disservice because somebody who knows them goes like, it's not you, it's just what you copied from somebody else. So the moment you're real and just show you, doors open that were closed before.